Hello, crystal people. It's Carla, and I am here to talk about crystals, metaphysical energy of crystals, crystal properties, all things crystals. And today I have a funny story. And it happened a while ago, but I still think it's so interesting and funny. And this is about the lost crystal that came back. So I don't so much anymore, mostly because of this thing that happened. I used to take crystals and tuck them in my bra to keep them close to my heart. And it just made me feel comforted that I had them close on my body. It was a way to carry them, and people at work didn't know. And it was just a little personal thing that I did. And I think a lot of us girls do that. So I worked in a small office, and there were office dogs, and quite often I would be the one to take the little dog on a walk. So this one day I had crystals in my undergarments, and I took the dog for a walk, but there was also another visiting dog that was a lot bigger. And I, bravely decided I was going to take them both by myself. And I went to take the dogs out on the walk. And by the time I came back, a little while later, I realized that I had lost one of them. So I'm sure it was the jostling and the motion, at least this is what I thought at the time, that something happened and things got loose and it just came out. And I looked for it. This happened in October. And I looked and I looked and I thought, it's gone. And I was so sad because it was a Moldavite, and it was the first Moldavite piece that I purchased for myself, and I loved it. And Moldavite to me wasn't a blow up your life kind of thing. It was more of a you can do this, a strength and a pushing, and a Moldavite to me is very, you got this kind of stone, and you can do hard things, and you need to do hard things and do what's right for you kind of stone. So I was so sad. I was so sad, you guys. Moldavites are not cheap stones, and I carried this stone a lot, and I was so sad. And I looked, and Moldavite is green, and the grass is green, and I kept looking outside for it. And I looked in my office, and there wasn't any place it could hide. I looked in the bathroom, I looked in the kitchen, I looked all these places that I thought it could be in this office, small building. And I looked at home thinking maybe I lost it at home. And weird story, but my carpet is green, so it was the same colors. I looked places where it couldn't possibly be. I looked under the seat of my car and couldn't find it. And finally had to say, okay, there's a reason when you lose a crystal that you've lost that crystal. It has either finished its job with you, or you don't need it, or somebody else needs it and somebody else is going to find it. I didn't know the reason, but I was sad. I lost my crystal. So fast forward to December of the following year, so 14 months later, we were in an end of year, not a lot going on in this office, kind of slow down, before Christmas. Let's do a deep clean of the office. And we were sweeping floors, and we were doing all the things. And there's a little bathroom that had this little corner shelf thing in it. And I swear I had looked under this thing before. I'd looked under this little, throw carpet that was in the bathroom. I swear I looked. But this one particular day, I actually picked up and moved it, this little corner piece, thinking maybe it's really here. And it wasn't. So I put it back. and I kept cleaning, and then I just had this urge, and I went back to this little white corner cabinet that was sitting there with supplies in it. I picked it up, physically moved it all the way, and look what I found. I found my little super duper Moldavite. Oh, isn't he cute? And the feeling that I got 14 months later, when I had that urge and picked up that little shelf and got my Moldavite back, I like jumped. I was so excited. And then I went, what did I do? Why did you do that to me? What was the message? And I don't know. You know, I think about it, and I think maybe it was you know, let it go moment, or you don't need to rely on crystals. You know you can do hard things, and you know you have the inner strength to do hard things, and stop keeping crystals in your bra where they can fall out and you can lose them. I don't know what the message was, but I was so glad to get this guy back. So 14 months later, such a weird thing. And Moldavite, I don't know what that was all about, but I'm so glad I have him back. And so what I was carrying that day, I don't specifically remember, but I often carried him with this little emerald. It's a little heart-shaped emerald, just a little pocket size thing. And these two love to be together. They love to be together. So I often carried these two because it's strength and it's the heart and it's all the things. And then quite often I would carry them with this little Herkimer diamond, which is super clear. And you know, Herkimer diamonds are like blenders and amplifiers, and the clear and the green just made a super combination. And I still love this combination to carry in my pocket. So that's my story. The stone that ran away and then came back, and it's my little prankster Moldavite here. So glad to have him back. So have you lost a crystal? Have you ever lost a crystal and had it come back? 14 months later. Crazy. I don't get it. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week. Love y'all.